the later model cars like Falcons and Holdens and everything else like that, when they're running on the unleaded, they don't turn the distributor, which gives you, or change the spark. They actually pull the cam and they turn the valve timing back. They retard them, called detuning. And that makes you run normal. If you were on your normal timing for normal fuels with a normal octane, okay, then that's, you would set your distributor, if you haven't got a distributor with points in it and everything else, you set your points at the right gap, or you set your spark at the right, amount, coil, resistor, condensers, everything else, computers. You set it the right kind of alignment spark, and then you set your spark plugs to suit. So anyway, what I'm talking about is Reg decided he wanted to get a little bit better out of his cars, make it run better, everything else, so he's thinking that you go and buy these special really good spark plugs with 3 electrodes on the end.
Right.
3 points. Okay? So they cost, just 6-cylinder, they cost him 80 something bucks. Okay? For 6 of them. Okay? So we put them in. And the motor was still hot. Well, I fitted him, put him in, motor's still hot, fired her up, he thought it was okay, he went home, he didn't realise it, she used more fuel. Okay, we didn't change anything else to suit, just put the spark plugs in. Better, supposed one, splitting your spark. So next morning, it was in just normal conditions, next morning he goes out to start his car, she don't want to start. She just don't want to start. Took him ages to get the damn thing started. So he got her started, and then he drives her into town, and when he drives her into town, she's jerking and farting and missing and coughing and spluttering a fair bit. And when she went up to a higher temperature, she started to run nice. Okay? But then she drops down a bit in temperature and everything else, runs terrible. So we come in and he said, they are absolutely woeful. He said, where's my old plugs? I said, in the bin, we'll pull them back out. Put them back in, single point, put them back in, mate, runs beautiful, all conditions. So he's really updated spark plugs and everything else. What he didn't realise is nobody's actually built them to suit this unleaded crap. They were built for the higher octane, different kinds of fuels and everything else. Even if it is the first of unleaded, it's still, higher octane than the crap we got today. So the plugs didn't match. Went back to the original ones and she runs smoothish. Why I'm telling you all this, whoever gets this, is because you've got to start thinking a little bit differently, right? You just don't go by what you're told about what makes engines run and what doesn't make engines run, and how you can start them and how you can stop them, and what starts them and what stops them, and we might not be correct. Okay, so back to it now. Yeah, you want to hear about the Suzuki? Well, listen, if I told you the 100% answer so simple on what you did about the Suzuki, then I'd be sort of a little bit in dire straits, myself, because I'm the guy who knows it and tells it. And then if everybody goes out and does it to every car, man,
there's no more excitement. There's no more challenge, is there?
The mechanics, engineers, scientists, and everything else mightn't like me so much, because everybody else might think, you've done well. You've got cars running now without. But that's not what they want. You kill an economy. They say, and it's their economy, but they've made you reliant on it, so you understand? But you break a whole lot of patent rules for a start, because they've set up all these things with patents on them to make their car run the way it is, and somebody paid a fortune for that. So we don't want to rub the wrong people the wrong way. But way back, people had DC magnetos. These aren't your normal common magneto today, even going back 100 years. Because the original DC magneto was taken by the Air Force and armies and everything else when they found out they were hooked onto engines. And the engines didn't have the spark plugs and didn't have the points and didn't have the condensers, didn't have the leads, didn't have distributors. They used to hook this frame in one lead. See, the DC magneto, some concept different. The DC get out of it. The DC magneto and everything else actually only had one wire. Okay, there was no other connections. And that DC magneto, one connection wire, and so on like that, that used to run any engine by just putting it anywhere on the engine. From a 1-cylinder up to 12 cylinders, that engine would fire every time in every cylinder by
So-
one.
Yeah. So what
Okay.
is that frequency, Joe? What is the DC?
You want me to tell you now? Okay, see the AC magneto and points condensers and coils and you name it and the electronics and everything got to be broken back to flatline DC anyway. What do you think your spark jumping across your spark plug is doing? Okay,
Yep.
it drops it back. Okay, so they'll tell you with a faulty spark plug, we've been into this, how do you check a faulty spark plug? Pull your lead back our side, make it jump our side. It's not building up and
Spark-
making it jump more on
Make
the
it
inside.
spark onto the spark plug itself. Is
Yeah,
that
not
correct?
or break it anywhere up the
Right.
line,
Yep.
anywhere back to your distributor or coil and everything else. And what you're going to do is you're going to find that you're a faulty spark plug. Now we don't go by stupid people, and I'm not going to mention stupid people's names, but somebody went and got a good working spark plug and collapsed the end and banged the end clean over. So that's negative electrode off the spark plug straight onto your centre point. They're with a hammer to prove my point. And they said, didn't work. Flipping your dead shorting negative directly to that.
Mm.
Now, carbon is a different thing. A faulty spark
G'day,
plug-
Sol too, by the way.
Not running the guy down, it's just misunderstanding the
No,
same
but
as
if he was in
everybody
front of your car, you could be called it running him over.
else. I didn't say that. He did. So the thing is, you can't grab a spark plug and bash the flaming negative straight over into the centre electrode and think that you're going to make this idea in the concept work. See, carbon is a different sort of an acting force. Okay, so you build up carbon in spark plugs, you short them out through that and everything else through the centre electrode through, or short out or something like that. It's going through some other thing. Okay, changes it a little bit. So your concepts are, you know, a bit different. So if you've got a faulty spark plug, you've got a miss in the motor, you pull it back a tiny bit and make the spark jump on the outside, and that motor purrs like a kitten. She don't miss, you know, put it on, misses, pull it away, misses, but you don't know what it is. Could be burnout valve, could be head gasket, could be piston, could be anything, but eliminate it down to spark plug, as we've been there before, and so on. So we know it's a spark plug without pulling it out and changing it. How do you check it? Just pull the spark back on the outside. Now the spark plug's faulty, short now, bug it, not firing. Either carbon up, bug something, okay? So you just pull the spark on the outside back a little bit and the motor goes,
Smooths it out straight
throw it away.
Yeah.
Okay,
So that's
throw
when
the
you
spark
pull the-
plug away, put it back to the original concept.
Yeah.
Okay, back the way man's been made to make it. Okay, so that motor was running without the spark jumping on the inside. It was jumping on the outside. Okay, we've got the Commodore spark jumping on the outside, but not to the spark plug. We've got to jump into the air conditioning.
Mm.
Does the engine run? No. But could the engine run? Well, if it can shut down, it can flip and run. If you can stop it, the opposite equal is run it.
Mm.
So a frequency, but see we're back around the circle?
Yep.
A frequency from what you've seen on the Commodore through the air conditioning unit, which wasn't even turned on and everything else, shut down the engine. Okay, the Suzuki you want to find out about. Right, what makes an engine run? I stop for a minute because I'll give you that to think about.
Hang on.
An answer.
What makes an engine run? Now you listen to that.
Anyway, so
Sorry.
yeah, you're right. There's a whole lot of
I interrupted
combinations,
again.
but there's a whole lot of combinations for each fuel that you use, for each thing that you use, for each octane, for each everything. You understand? And so on, all the way down through the lines. Okay, so it is a combination of things. So it's not just one thing, but you can come back to frequency does it. Okay. Your first DC magnetos were taken by the Air Force and Army and everything else, and they use them to this day, and they use them to send frequencies around the world, your voices and things like that, okay? Now, I'm not going with them or against them or anything else to go out and chase them. You'll find it if you want to go and chase it up, okay? Now, they might have altered that frequency a little bit to suit their sounds what they're sending now. So don't think you're going to go and get one off the Air Force, throw it on your car, and it's going to run. There's a possibility with some cars it might. Okay? but there's a possibility they might not with some cars. Okay, you want to look at something else is what you're going. Road setup. Okay, don't know whether you know about them where you use R in America and everything else, but RODE, rust oxidisation destroyed electrically. Hopefully I got those words right because I don't know. But what they're doing is using the normal frequencies in a car. Now, they sell 2 boxes. One is for computers,